Hello, my friends. We are in California. I'm here with the land development queen, Carina Guzmán. I'm so
Hi,
excited.
Me too.
I really wanted to share your story with our friends here because I think it's an inspiring story, and I respect you so much. You're an inspirational person. You're a powerhouse rock star of an investor, and why not do it in the sun here? Like, we're doing an event. We have an event here in Irvine, California. You flew down here, and you're an absolute rock star.
Thank you, Alfonso.
So, we've been trying to connect for a while. I remember looking. You know what caught me? It's like, she's a Libra, because I saw your birthday, and I'm like, how come we don't know each other more? Remember that?
Yes.
And then we connected, and we're working together now. So I'm excited. So I think it's only fair that my audience gets to know you a little bit more, and I want to have an opportunity to share your story. We have a very similar background. We come from the same country. Yeah, El Salvador. In fact, we had pupusas last night.
Yes,
if you guys don't know what pupusas are, you guys you better Google it. Pupusas, El Salvador, and hit the closest restaurant. But those of you that know exactly what that means. But please, I want to know how this all craziness real estate world started for you.
It started 2009. So I've been in it for a little bit of time.
So coming into the Canadian correction, not real estate crash, but it was a bit of a correction. People were kind of scared of real estate.
Big time.
Yeah.
But at the time I was just I just got out of university, and I was just starting my first corporate job, and I thought, woohoo, I made it.
You made it, because that's the dream for a lot of immigrants, right?
My parents wanted me to do that,
Go to school, get your
job.
degree,
Yeah.
go get the job, the government job.
And it has the pension and the benefits, and you're set for life.
That's it. That's all you can ever hope for.
That's it.
It's it. Buy your house.
Yes.
Hold on to that house for the next 40 years.
Yep.
And everything will be okay.
And then you retire and happily ever after.
That's just how it's supposed to work.
That's right. That's how it's supposed to work.
It's a nice dream.
It is. It's a simple dream, isn't it? It's nice.
Yeah.
But that didn't quite work out, because I got into that corporate job, and I'm like, I'm going to be a successful businesswoman, and I'm going to work my way up to the ladder. I'm going to wear the nice suits, and I'm going to be happy. And then I did that, worked my way up, and then I realized I'm miserable. I hate being here.
What was because that's a dream for a lot of people. And I guess you didn't feel fulfilled. So what was it like? What was that moment where you feel like, no, I'm not gonna do this?
I think it was just a feeling that I want to be more. Like, inside that I've outgrown this space, and I need to become more. And deep inside that you can be more, but you don't know how. But you just know something inside of you tells you, I have not become the real me.
I'm not done yet.
Yes, it's almost like I haven't become who I'm supposed to be. This feeling like I'm living somebody else's life.
Yeah.
And I was, actually, to be honest.
A lot of people, maybe people watching this show, could be in that place right now.
A lot of people.
So how do you identify it, first of all, that? Because it could be like you're tired, it could be, health issues, but how do you identify that feeling? It's like, you got to get out. You got to do something different. Let go of those handcuffs. Like, how do you know?
Man, it's like that feeling that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And that feeling that, you know what, if I continue this way, for me, the big one was, do I really see myself for another 25 years doing this? And the answer was no, clearly no. And I couldn't imagine. I was like, I'm gonna die here if I continue.
So, did you resignate? How did it work? Like, you made a decision, like, you just quit, like?
Well, you know what? The big push for me was my son. It's very similar to your story. So I really
I know
relate.
we're like the same person. This is it's crazy because when we got together, we started like, hey, what about? Oh yeah, oh, you know
So
what I mean?
much.
Which is like to me, it's like incredible, you know.
It is. It's so crazy.
So your
I would
son-
have my first son, Marcos, and I had him. And you know, before that, and I knew like there's something inside of me that is very unfulfilled. But when I had him and seeing his little face, I was like, I want to become the absolute most best version of me for him. He was actually my push to become that. And I was like, there's nothing from here on that's gonna stop me from doing that. And I became obsessed with becoming the best version, because for me it was like, if I'm not my best version, how can I teach him
Yes.
to become the best version of himself?
Yeah. Because he's gonna see through your actions. Because a lot of parents, they like to tell their kids, but they're not walking the walk,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. You can't tell somebody, don't do this, but then they see you, you know, living a typical same life as everybody else.
Yeah.
And I knew I didn't want that. So that was my big push. It was my big push. And that's when I began going to every event. I was like that I was like that real estate.
You were like a sponge. You just
Yeah.
wanted, but what, like, so what intrigued you about real estate? How did you discover real estate?
Well, funny, I actually bought right out of university. I got my very first job, and I said to my dad, I need to go buy my house, my first house, because now I have a real job.
J-O-B.
And I was like, I'll go. And my dad was very supportive, and he's like, yeah, let's go, mija, let's go buy a house. So he was like my biggest supporter, and then we went out and bought that house. And I loved the process. I love negotiating. I love walking through the properties. I didn't know anything about real estate before that, but I was buying. Obviously, it was an emotional buy that I was doing. But when I got it, I was like, you know what? I have 4 bedrooms. I'm just gonna go and like rent every room. And everybody, even my dad, was like, well, who's gonna rent a room? And I'm like, I don't know. But I did, and I did it like that. And all of my rooms got rented. And I was like, hey, these people living here are paying my mortgage. I should, you know, put extra money, pull some money out, and do it again. Like that was like, this is a thing. Like I could do this.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Wow, so this is like, now you're like, okay, I got the bug.
I got the bug. Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go to every real estate event. And that's important, because that's what a lot about, this is like this channel here, like we just like pour the education, right? Like we have 800 videos on this channel, right? And so when people discover real estate, first thing you got to do, just get educated. Just do whatever you can, get into whatever program you can, just to get the education, because that gives you the cheat sheet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just learning about the strategies, because back then I didn't know anything, like nothing. So just absorbing the information, seeing how it's done, different ideas. For me, that was like mind blowing at the time, because I was like, I never heard of any of this. Nothing. I was just brand new, and just seeing the people there. I would take days off from work just to go to the events. You know, like I was, like I said, obsessed.
Yeah,
because
relentless.
I knew I had to make it. Like there was no option. I had to make it work. You know?
That's incredible. I mean, it is inspiring. You know, what happened after that? Like,
well, after that, funny, I attended one event, and it was by this time, you know, a little time has passed. And I was having my second son. So I was already, you know, I was pretty pregnant at the time. And I had gone to one other real estate event, and I sat down in the back, and this girl sat next to me, and we hit it off. You know, I'm talking to her, and she said, well, my husband and I buy land, and we sever it, and we build semis on them. And I'm like, well, what's severance? And she said, well, it's when you cut the land in half, and then you build 2 houses on it. I'm like, cool. So how do you know what lots you can do that? And she goes, zoning. And I'm like, what's zoning? And she's like, oh, I got to tell you all about this. And we hit it off. I got lucky because she was really what started my whole opening into the land development part of the world.
And the thing is, when we talk about success, like 90% of it is showing up.
Yes.
And you showed up to an event, and whether or not you were intrigued or wanted to do that or whatever, there was someone in that same event that sparked something in you.
Yes.
Where you took action on, because it was like kind of in alignment with your goals, and we talked a lot about lifestyle. Yeah, lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Very interesting. And you never know who you're gonna meet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking here, like, I'm absorbing everything that the presenters are bringing, and I've learned a lot, and I went to everything, but it's also the connection.
Yeah.
You know, the people that you meet there, everybody's doing. This is why I love real estate. You can do it 1,000 ways.
Yes.
There's so many different ways, and everybody's doing it a little bit different, a little blended, you know? And just listening to other stories inspires you to really take action. Because I was like, if she can do that, I can do that.
Yeah.
There's no reason why I can't.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it.
Yeah. And now you're like the queen of all queens of land development.
Yeah.
Is that surreal to you when you hear that?
It's so surreal to me. I think it's so cool. I don't know where that whole thing came about, but all of a sudden seeing the hashtags Queen of Land Development, I think it inspires me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, now you have to live up to it.
I have to live up to it. You know, I have to wear my crown.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like when you show up and you do things, people recognize it, and people are inspired by action. And they're inspired by action takers, right? You got to take the actions to get the results. Doesn't matter what the goals are. If you're not taking action on it consistently, you're going to be dead in the water. You're not going to be able to progress. You're not going to be able to learn. You're not going to be able to grow. A lot of people think, oh, once I get the money, then I'll start.
Oh, believe me, it's so funny because 2 months after I met her, like, I became obsessed, and I was like, I love this strategy. I've never heard it anywhere else. Nobody else was teaching it. And she was kind enough to teach me. And again, the kindness of people. People want to help, you know? And she gave me the foundation. She got me to understand what's zoning. But I went out and I became obsessed about it. Within 2 months, I found a lot. I found it close to transit, double lot, and I'm like, that's it. And it had the right zoning, had the highest density in zoning. And I told my husband, we gotta buy it. And he was like, why? And I'm like, just trust me. Like, this is it. This is what I'm learning here. Just follow me and we're gonna make it. And we did. And at the time, we had just bought our last property. So we had zero money. But, you know, I told my sister about it. She kind of lent me the deposit. Like, we were taking money out of her credit card. This is like, 2015. And I don't know, when you have this drive.
Yeah, that's it. Like, nothing can stop. And you're determined, right? Determination is the common trait amongst all successful people. And so if you want to do this, if this is what you want to do, you have to be determined. And determination comes from having a strong why. Going back to seeing was it your first son?
By this time it was my second
your
son.
second, but
so
you're
I
looking
even have a stronger why.
You got looking at those cute little faces, and you're like, I got to do it for them, right? And that's exactly when I looked at my kids, I'm like, whoa, I gotta step up here.
You gotta do something now. You gotta become more.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. We talked a lot about becoming this weekend and transforming yourself.
Yeah. And
you're someone that has transformed. You're someone that is walking the walk. You're someone that is inspiring people, Latino people, women, and all kinds of people. So, I'm so happy and proud and honored that we got to connect, and we're working together, and that's why I wanted to share your story with our friends here.
Thank you, and I'm so excited. Thank you for connecting with me.
Yes.
And I love to be partnering with somebody like you who has just an amazing reputation. And Latinos,
Latinos.
We need to step it up, guys.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for just a moment. What for a lot of Latinos, immigrants, or even that are still back home, para nuestra gente, okay? What is the one thing that you think that it holds a lot of people back?
I think it's the fear. It's the feeling that I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And that creates fear
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
There's a lot of Latino people that are successful, by the way,
That's true.
in their own right, right? But you don't see too many in real estate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Why is that?
I don't know. We're going to change
We're
that.
gonna change that. We're gonna change that perception, that
Yeah.
that whole paradigm.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will tell you, back home, there's a lot of corruption in our countries, and I know that specifically for my family, you know, when someone had any wealth or real estate, they must have done something, right? And sometimes they come to like North America with that mindset, right? And so you got to shift. You got to shift the
We
mindset.
have to shift.
Creators, and we won't stop there.
No, this is the right
Humanity.
time. Humanity, like I don't see any reason why
Someone
we
doesn't.
can't
Yeah.
elevate. We need
Yeah.
to level ourselves up,
Yeah.
and we're here to help you guys do it.
And we're also in California, so you know you guys need to come and join us here.
Beautiful California.
Yeah. Thank you, Carina. What's the last words that you're gonna leave our friends with? What's your philosophy on life?
My big philosophy, and I talked a lot about this today, is figure out your lifestyle, your ideal lifestyle. You know, it's not about the money. We all want money. Yes, money will come, success will come, but figure out who do you want to be, and imagine your lifestyle. How do you want that? Because if you can create a very clear goal, that's what's really going to take you to take action.
Yes.
Because until you get that, it's all just going to be a dream, just a thought.
Yeah. So be clear on who you need to become and what lifestyle you want, and then take action. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfonso.
Alfonso loves you, and we'll see you at the top. Bye bye, guys.